ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಬಾ 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 ಸಾಕು. ಜಾಗನೂ ಬಿಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಸರ್ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಹಾಕ್ಸಿರಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಲಾಕ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ನೀವು ಎದಳ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ಇದು ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬನ್ನಿ. Come sit here. Come this way. I have some
Men are not prisoners of fate, but the prisoners of their own minds, which is said by Franklin D. Roosevelt, and another great quote by a great personality, M.K. Gandhi, who said that hate the sin but not the sinner. A warm and pleasant good morning to one and all present here. I am very delighted to welcome our honorable chief guest of the day to the a very auspicious event and meaningful event. Sri N.S. Meghali, retired IPS officer, former Director General of Police. I welcome you, sir. I extend my warm welcome to the guest of honor of the day, Sri T.M. Vijay Bhaskar, retired IAS officer, former Chief Secretary, Government of Karnataka, and presently the Chairman, Indian Institute of Public Administration, Karnataka Regional Branch. I welcome you, sir. I'm very happy to welcome my guru and key mind behind organizing this meaningful lecture, Dr. D. Jeevan Kumar, former Dean and Professor of Political Science, Bangalore University, and presently Secretary, Indian Institute of Public Administration, Karnataka Regional Branch. Welcome you, sir. I even more delighted to welcome Honorable Chairman of today's event, Dr. J. M. Mallikarjunaya, Principal, KLE Law College Bengaluru. I also extend my warm welcome to our Vice Principal, Madam Anita MJ, in her absence. I welcome ma'am, and I also extend my warm welcome to our IKSC Coordinator, Dr. Manoj Kumar V. Hiremat, and all the faculty members and the icons of the day, that is student fraternity. I welcome each and every one to this meaningful, auspicious event. Welcome you all. I request Mr. Ashu Singh to introduce today's guest of honor.
Good morning, everyone. So, Sri T.M. Vijay Bhaskar from Bengaluru is a retired IAS officer of 1983 Karnataka cadre. Sir holds a master degree in economics from Birla Institute of Technology and Science, Pilani, and an MBA degree in public sector from University of Birmingham, UK. In his 37 years of service to the country, he worked for more than 8 years in various capacities in the state level education administration and 9 years in rural development at national and state levels. The remaining years were in district administration and coordination. Most of the working experience was in the field of basic needs like water supply, sanitation, school education, roads, and agriculture development. He retired in December 2020 after 2.5 years of service as the Chief Secretary in the State of Government of Karnataka, India, the senior most official in the state administration and responsible for coordination and overseeing all the departments of the state government. After his retirement, Government of Karnataka appointed him as the chairperson of the Karnataka Administrative Reforms Commission 2 in January 2021. CARC 2 has submitted 3 reports so far to the Government of Karnataka. Sorry, 5 reports. 5 reports. So, your journey is highly inspiring, sir, and it's an honor to welcome you today as the guest of honor. We welcome you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now I request Sir Vijay Bhaskar sir to address and give the introductory remarks.
Good morning to all of you. Professor Malik J. Mallikarjunaya, Sri N.S. Megri, Professor Jeevan Kumar, dear faculty, guests, and my dear students who are gathered here. It is indeed a great pleasure to be here for this lecture. I am first of all thankful to the KLE College of Law and the principal, Professor J. Mallikarjunaya, for arranging this lecture in this college. On behalf of Indian Institute of Public Administration, Karnataka Regional Branch, I extend hearty congratulations and felicitations to him. I am also very happy that Sri N.S. Megri has kindly consented to give talk on prison reforms today. Prison reforms is something that is also part of the curriculum of law students, and you're all. There has been of course, we all know from our mythology and history. We have all heard that Lord Krishna was born in a prison. He was put in a prison by his father and mother, put in a prison by his uncle, who killed 6 of his elder siblings. And he was taken to safety. You also heard of, probably in the Mahabharata, about Shakuni. Shakuni and his 199 brothers were put in prison by Dhritarashtra, and they were given only 1 grain of rice each as a punishment. And so they all gathered that rice and gave it to Shakuni, and all the rest of them died. And he survived, and then that is supposed to be the backstory for his role in the downfall of the Kuru dynasty. So prisons are part of our history, mythology, and so many our freedom fighters have spent a long years in prison. Prison reforms is something that is therefore was very close to the hearts of people in our leaders in the initial years of independence. There was a shift from the colonial administration of prisons as a form of punishment or as a form of repression to a correctional system where the emphasis is on reforming the prisoner so that he can come back into normal society and become a useful member of society. There are many issues that the prison reforms concerned with improving conditions inside prisons, improving the effectiveness of penal system, and implementation of alternatives to incarceration, greater access to legal counsel and families, conjugal visits, proactive security against violence, and implementing house arrest with assistive technology. So this, there is you may have heard of India Justice Report. I don't know if you have heard of India Justice Report.
Yes.
So this is a report that is brought out by the Tata Trust and some NGOs. They compare the various aspects of justice system in India, state-wise. One of the four pillars of the justice system is the prisons. So in this particular system, in this report, they have pointed out that in Karnataka, nearly 72% of prisoners were under trials. This is the situation all over the country. Nearly 70% of prison population consists of under trials. So the Supreme Court also, you may have heard, in India the process is the punishment. Because of low conviction rate, the process itself becomes the punishment, and therefore a large number of under trial prisoners are there. The colonial nature of the relevance of some laws which keep so many under trials in prison is also has to be questioned. Government of India has taken up a big drive for decriminalization of laws. In the recent past, nearly 3,400 legal criminalizing provisions have been removed. So instead of criminalizing them, they have provision for penalizing them by monetary fine, etc. When you go on the roads without a helmet, instead of putting in your prison, the police will give you a challan for payment of a fine. So that saves you time, saves the courts additional cases, and it also ensures that the prisons are free. So this decriminalization is a major step that the government has taken. Recently, a Jan Vishwas bill has been introduced to decriminalize 183 provisions in 42 laws. This is in India, the prison population is around 40 per lakh population. This is a reason, both the reasons may be due to low conviction rate as well as also because of our philosophy of bail, not jail, which the Honorable Supreme Court has time and again reiterated. So bail, not jail, is the guiding philosophy of the courts in India. So that to that extent, our people in prison, number of the prisoners are quite low comparatively. For instance, in the USA, there are 505, more than 12 times the number of prisoners on a per lakh basis compared to India. The other significant aspect in USA is black Americans, who form only 13% of the population, but they form nearly 40% of the prisoners' population in the USA. So there is a large discrimination or sort of proportion of blacks who are put in prison, and many states have in the USA have similar provisions may be there in India for SC/STs, minorities, because you may see from the prison statistics of India. Custodial deaths is another issue, which is a very live issue. And Karnataka, we are among the very much better states compared to other states in the country. In 2 years, the government of India reported 4,484 custodial deaths in judicial custody. Out of these 4,484, in Karnataka, only 18 prisoners died in judicial custody, which is much less than the neighboring states, and which is a tribute to the better prison administration, I would say. Overcrowding is another issue in prisons. Tihar jail has got a capacity of 7,000 in Delhi, but it holds 15,000 prisoners. Fortunately, Karnataka also is in a better position. Our prisoners' strength is nearly the same as the capacity, about 100. Though number of male prisoners is more than the available capacity. The state government has given a lot of funds for construction of new prisons and for provision of facilities in prisons. Inadequate staff is another issue. Few numbers of welfare officers, law officers, medical officers, counselors, psychologists, correctional officers, and this is something that has to be addressed. Video conferencing is for remand hearings, something where Karnataka has much more to do. Probably in the report it says only 31% of jails had video conferencing facility. In terms of the model prison manual, we have here before us Mr. Megre, who has been responsible for drafting and seeing through the new Karnataka Prison Act, and which is also provides for setting up of a prison development board. So, as a result of efforts of Mr. Megre, Karnataka has got a new prison manual, and which is in the form of a legislation. Very few states, I was just speaking to him, he said only about 5-6 states in the country have a new prison manual. Recently, there was some news item in Rajasthan that in the prison manual it says that only certain castes have to be, caste-wise prisoners have to be kept separate. That caste-wise only some castes should do some types of work. So these are all in the old prison manual which has not been amended. And thanks to Mr. Megri's effort, we have a new prison manual in Karnataka. The Justice Amita Roy Committee has also given certain recommendations which are also improved in terms of improving prison management, encouraging plea bargaining, etc. There is a issue of cleanliness, drinking water, medical facilities in Karnataka. The Karnataka State Legal Services Authority and the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative have brought out a report which you may read. Inside Karnataka Prisons is the name of this report. Inside Karnataka Prisons. It was recently brought out 1 year ago. Most of the prisons in Karnataka are in old buildings, they say, and as we have said, they are not, all of them are equipped with video conferencing facilities or even commodes for elderly prisoners. We still have Indian toilets only, and elderly prisoners may find it difficult to go to those. In some talukas, this is the taluka, especially in taluka prisons, they have pointed out that the toilet facilities and bathrooms are inadequate. So the state government has given nearly 5.5 crores for constructing 60 additional toilets and 322 bathrooms as per standards in the model prison manual. So another progressive feature in Karnataka prisons is recently government has increased the daily wages for prisoners for working in prison, and they get right now graded every year with higher skilling. They get higher daily wages, going up to nearly 500 rupees per day if they get 3 to 4 years experience. So as a result of this, Karnataka prison system is on the path of reformation, and we are eager to hear from Mr. Megri, who is the architect behind the new Prisons Correctional Services Manual 2021 about prison reforms in general and prison reforms in Karnataka. So I once again thank KLE College of Law for providing this opportunity to the Indian Institute of Public Administration and to arrange this lecture. And I hope this lecture by Mr. Negre will be informative and will be useful to you. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, sir. Now I request Ms. Shreya Kumar to introduce our key speaker of the day, Shri Megari, sir.
Yeah, no, before we speak,
Good morning to all of you. Today, with great pleasure, I hereby introduce to you all our chief guest for today, Mr. N.S. Megarik. Mr. Megarik was born and brought up in the royal state of Rajasthan. It was in the year of 1987 that Mr. Megarik was inducted in as a professional under Indian Police Services. He was allotted the Karnataka state cadre, which of course turned out as a blessing for the state. His work was recognized by public as well as the government. He was awarded with President's Police Medal for meritorious service and President's Police Medal for distinguished service in 2003 and 2012 respectively. He has held various posts during his glorious tenure as an IPS officer. These include the posting as Assistant Superintendent of Police, Hospet Subdivision, Superintendent of Police of Kodagu and Dakshin Kannada districts, Deputy Inspector General of Police, Inspector General of Police, Additional Commissioner of Police, Karnataka State Human Rights Commission, and many more such great honors. And finally, the most important one, considering the context of today's event, Director General of Prisons and Correctional Services, Karnataka State, Bengaluru from July 2017 to January 2020. Mr. Megarik retired from IPS on July 30th, 2020 as the Director General of Police, CID, Special Units and Economic Services. Presently, he is member of High Court Committee on BDA, Akraparti Layout since October 2021. Sir, it's a pleasure to have a personality like you with us here today. We welcome you, sir. I request you just to please give it.
We recently did a video about the worst prisons, so now it's time to show you the best. These next 5 prisons are so nice, most of us won't even feel like we're being punished. Here are 5 of the best prisons in the world. We would like to give a big shout out to viewer Stephen Roger for suggesting this video. Number 5. JVA Fuhlsbüttel Prison, Germany. Germany is known for high quality, and this shows in their prisons. JVA Fuhlsbüttel Prison in Hamburg is probably their most luxury prison. Renovated and reopened in 2011, it's designed for long-serving inmates. The spacious cells include a bed, couch, and private shower and toilet. Prisoners also have machines to do their laundry, a range of activities, and a small conference room. Number 4. Justice Center Leoben, Austria. This modern-looking building definitely wouldn't scare any criminal, and its first looks can be deceiving when the inscription at the front of the prison, which reads, "All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights," definitely confirms this prison is a nice one. To help keep this prison's peaceful atmosphere, it only detains people who committed non-violent crimes. Each prisoner is given a clean, modern single cell with a private bathroom, kitchenette, and a television. Prison activities include a gym, basketball court, and outdoor recreation area. Since these prisoners aren't the most violent, all areas of the prison can be enjoyed peacefully. Number 3. Sollentuna Prison, Sweden. From the country that gave us IKEA, the inside of this prison definitely has that IKEA showroom touch. This modern top-of-the-line prison is better than most homes. Inmate cells have comfortable mattresses and private bathrooms. A typical day for a prisoner here would be to hit the gym, take a nice shower, cook up a nice warm meal in the kitchen, and then kick back and relax on the couch and watch your favorite TV shows. The prison has been criticized for being too lenient. However, Sweden's prison authorities are quick to point out that every square inch of the prison can be seen on security cameras. Number 2, Bastøy Prison, Norway. Yes, this looks more like someone enjoying a weekend away rather than a prison. Bastøy Prison in Norway is a minimum security prison and houses inmates who haven't committed too serious crimes. If you're wondering where the fences are, they're not really needed. You see, this prison is its own island, and the only way in or out is by boat. This allows the inmates to roam around the beautiful landscape and enjoy activities such as sunbathing, tennis, fishing, and horseback riding. Rather than being locked up in cells, they live in their own little cottages and work on the prison farm. Surprisingly, the reoffending rates have been reported at 16% compared to the European average of around 70%. So regardless if you think this prison is too nice, it accomplishes its goal of correcting inmates to law-abiding citizens. Number 1, Halden Prison, Norway. This maximum security prison in Norway is very luxurious. It doesn't detain small-time criminals. Instead, the inmates in this prison are people convicted of the worst crimes such as rape and murder. Each prisoner's spacious cell has a flat-screen TV, a toilet, shower, mini-fridge, and unbarred vertical windows that let in more light. Prisoners share kitchens and living rooms every 10 to 12 cells, and while the prison provides the food, the prisoners can also buy ingredients and make their own meals. Inmates are encouraged to take as much time as possible out of their cells. Prisoners have an incentive of 53 kroner, which is about $10, to leave their cells. There is an activities house which allows prisoners to jog, play football, learn woodwork, cook, and have music lessons. There is also a fully equipped recording studio where inmates can record their own music and have the opportunity for it to be broadcast by local radio stations. A library with books, magazines, CDs, and DVDs, and a gym with a rock climbing wall are also available. However, should all this not be enough for prisoners, they also receive questionnaires and ask how their prison experience can be improved. Thank you for watching, and if you have a video idea, why not leave a
Good morning to all of you. Mr. Vijay Bhaskar, the former Chief Secretary of Government of Karnataka. I can't claim anything, but he is more than a guide, philosopher, and a friend, much more than that. Dr. Jivan Kumar, Dr. Mallikarjunaya, faculty, and one guest which I have brought, Mr. Om Prakash, who is again associated with KLE Management School in Hubli. He is from Bangalore, and he was associated with your Aadhaar ID and all that on a program basis. And dear students and all of you who are present here, I think my job is easier now after watching the video, and you know what prison reform means and all. And I would like to tell you that the last #1 prison, Halden in Norway, I had visited that prison in 2019. So we had lunch there in the same place which you have seen there and all. A different mindset, as Mr. Vijay Bhaskar has rightly explained, that prisons were had been backbone of any civilization, whether mythological or freedom struggle has all nothing but stories in prisons. You don't need to go much behind the history. Our Bangalore Central Prison, which is now called Freedom Park, if you are aware of this and all. So Freedom Park hosted a lot of important politicians like Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Lal Krishna Advani, and so many other politicians, senior politicians who were in opposition during the time of emergency. So that is how, and they have written a lot. Discovery of India, written by Jawaharlal Nehru, was, I think, written in prison. So many stories and all those things are there. So somehow we have two-sided views of this institution, and to upkeep the society intact and integrated, we need something like that. Anyway, that is what beginning, and good. Thank you for the good introduction. I would like to start with how did I end up in prison. You know, today you must be knowing there are two women fighting.
Yes.
One of them was again fighting that time also, and that became reason of my going to prison. So I was jailed for that. I should say that Rupa was, you know Sasikala case. Sasikala was in Parapanara Central Prison, and then special facilities were given. I don't think even 1/1,000,000th of this facility was perhaps given to Sasikala, which later on was not during the course of inquiry was found out. Anyway, in a lighter vein, so I was picked up by the state government, and then I was posted there. That must go there. I was heading the anti-corruption bureau there, and before that, prison is a great change in my career, in the sense that I was perhaps I was police commissioner Bangalore City in 1516. Before that, the additional DG Law and Order of the Karnataka state, and a lot of other postings. So you start dealing with the criminals to catch them, investigate them, and ultimately you land up for their welfare in the prison. So totally, oxymoron. This is, it's very, very contradictory situations were there. But since a lot of things were going wrong in the prison that time, so I was given a responsibility by the state government to go there, and was personally asked by the then chief minister and all senior officers to see that something we should do, and take out the whole issue out of that. So this is what it is there. Now, I had to plan something. The state government was very supportive, and I was told that anything, monetary resources or any other resources, whatever I wanted, I could get it and all. That is the kind of mandate we were given. Now, what I had my job chalked out is, first and foremost guiding force was there is a PIL. Now, you're all law students, you know that PIL. PIL 406, inhuman conditions of 1382 prisons in India. So this was a PIL filed sometime in 2013. So 406 for 2013, you can have reference for that. And this opened up Pandora's box for prison reforms by the Supreme Court and all that. So mandate was given to the state, to the state government's directions were given or at regular interval, and Justice Loku and the other justices in the Supreme Court, they kept monitoring what the states were doing progressively. So it became handy for me also to take shelter under the orders of the Supreme Court and ask the state government to give me whatever the Supreme Court desires. The prison manual, model prison manual, which was there by the Government of India, the Bureau of Police Research and Development, which looks after the prison research and police research and all. So there was a modern prison manual. So that manual had to be implemented in the state also. So that was one there. Then required a lot of resources. I will come to that later on. And apart from that, there are a lot of other things which this PIL facilitated me. As Mr. Bhaskar, I must be very thankful to him that he explained in a different way, very well researched, brief talk, but it's quite opening. We all know that the criminal justice system, police, then police prosecution courts, and the prison. So prison is the last post. Whatever is done by all these three pillars ultimately has to be taken care by the last pillar, which is prisons and all. So even if whatever punishments have been given to the court, the criminal has been proved of his charges, guilty of charges, and he or she has exhausted all possible means to approach to the I mean, for his remission or for his bail or for his acquittal. He has exhausted everything and he's finally landed up in prison. So we have to be very clear that whatever happens in the prison, we must make sure briefly that he doesn't come out again and commit the same offenses or some other offenses. So to protect society from such kind of criminals, we have to have a system which takes care of such kind of prisons. So this is how it is custody and reforms. I mean, it's a different thing. As I said that as police commissioner or as additional DG law and order or as superintendent of police of the district, the job of police is totally different. To deal with the criminals, I don't want to, you all know how the police reacts and all that. And if you say that you take care of the same criminals there, then how do you feel? It's a little difficult and all. But then depends. We have to, I was very focused that let us do something to improve the system. Sir has mentioned about the reforms and all that, but perhaps I thought it's a very routine mandate for me. Maybe it's a good one and all. So we have to keep this in mind that prison is ultimately where the whole criminal justice system will either fail or collapse or make its point. Basics of reforms, I would say. I have something kept mind because of experience also. It is, I should say that again. I said that it's not reforms. I feel. I thought it's my duty to do, and I had to take out my earlier mindset to focus on what can be done very easily. First and foremost is the prison staff itself. Now, you know that prison staff from the warder, the lowest post is warder, who is like equivalent to constable. Warder, then jailer, then superintendents, and then the RA ranks and all that. So they are the people, they are the persons who are imprisonment for entire life. So they remain in this prison setup in entire life and all that. So they have that mindset, they interact with the same criminals and all that, you know how it is. So we have to first take care of their safety and security. As police officer, and you all know that even as police officer, a police inspector cannot keep a criminal even 3-4 days in the police lockup. Very difficult. And you keep thousands of criminals. Bangalore, Karnataka population is over 5,000 criminals. All dreaded criminals are there, from terrorists to the lowest petty thief and all that. All kind of criminals are there. And some of the criminals have been shifted from other states. If they are not safe, then the court will transfer them to a different state and all that. So keep that in mind. So I had first priority was that was my first priority to make sure that my prison staff, they are safe and secure. First and foremost priority was that. So I mean ultimately they are the people who have to do that. So then second priority was prison administration, which I'll come to that later on and explain how all it is there and all that. So what we feel is that the prison administration means the food, shelter, and health, medical. These are the three basic things. We don't need anything. It was just the video was just kind of eye-opening for us. Let us not get into that. They are developed countries, but their mindset is different. Let us be different from them. But basic needs are there. As Mr. Vijay Bhaskar pointed out, Karnataka, we are proud to say, sir, I've gone through last year's report. I think there was a hygiene competition by prison, conference, All India conference in Gujarat and all that. I think Karnataka prisons were number one in hygiene and all those things and all that. And once we had the Honorable Home Minister there in the prison and all that for some release of prisoners function, and the media was there and all that. He said, Sabre, this looks like, it looks like 5-star resort. You go to Karnataka. Principal, do you have some attachment with them? Please, I'll come to that later on, but you must have we have a lot of, I have been very, very encouraging when the students come and find out for good, and then let them go and visit prisons. And we are very free, all over, wherever they want to go there. So the Home Minister commented before the media, this is a 5-star or 5-star resort kind of thing, Parapanagara and all that. So I said, sir, thank you, or I should tell you to keep the mouth shut. I don't know what to say. Because again, of course, we are not at that level, but then that is how the state of things. And let us not talk about the prison in other states, especially northern United States, and all these things are too bad and all that. We are lucky that, and then I tried to do that. Not that overnight I created that. Karnataka Business Club. That time we claimed that we are number one. Number two state can find their place. I don't know whichever number state they can compete with each other, but we are number one. Kind of aura we had that. So this is what it is there. Now, health is physical, mental. That again I touch it upon it later. Third thing is human rights. This was my third priority. First, safety and security of my prison staff. Second is prison administration. Put up in the code of Karnataka students, you know that. Then third is human rights. If you take care of these two things, human rights question will not arise at all. That's how it is. I'll tell you one thing which I used to, keep talking like that and all. Kannada, how many of you know Kannada? Most of them. Varagade only, Varagade ili. Any criminal, he is a big, it's like tiger outside and all. But once he is inside, either a police has a lock-up or a prison, he is like, mouse. It's like village. So this is what mindset we have. Anybody, whoever considers himself very strong, will break down once he enters the premises. This is taken for granted. So in those circumstances, what do you do? Suppose, and another thing, yaru kurba purigalanu tagondu hookar daytime, to go to a grass field and all that. So if an animal, when they are out, if animal got injured, what the fellow, the shepherd will not throw it away. He'll put it on his head and bring it back to the to their place for the night, and next day it will not take an hour. So I used to tell my people, I said, look, they are like Puriguru. So you are like shepherd. So don't abandon them. Just ask him, immediately do some first aid. Again you do some kind of, give him some tablet here and there. And that's all. There is no question of human rights there after that. That's what the mindset you have to do. It's basically the mindset which makes it. Now they all first they felt that yes, they are safe and secure because the agency is taking care of us. I am responsible for whatever good or bad they were doing and all that. So during the course of that, I'll discuss that. So this is how the whole edifice of my tenure, I planned it there and all that. This is how talking to people and all. Now we come to the role of judiciary. Briefly, I'll tell you. They are not in police custody. They are remanded to judicial custody. You all know the language of the court. They are under judicial custody. It's a responsibility of the courts to take care of everything there. Prison administration is accountable to the courts, whether it's High Court, Supreme Court, or lower courts, who are there. So there are mandates in the prison manual and the law that the magistrates or judges should go visit there. We have prison visiting boards, and where the deputy commissioner of the district, the district judge, the superintendent of police, the law, the health officer, and a lot of other officers are part of the prison visiting board and all that. So this is not, as we conceive, it's not left to some particular thing and all that. So role of judiciary is also very important. Now I do not want to go into the bigger things of, as Mr. Vijay Bhaskar has told about 77%, 78% are under trial and 22% are only convicted. So that says you, me, or judiciary can't do it. In the short term, we can't do, but we have to focus on that. Why the whole issue is there? So the under trials are more, and their under trials are there for long time, beyond their stipulated punishment provided in the IPC, CRPC, and all that. That's how it is there. So we come to that. So what happens that there is a lot of responsibility lies on the court. Now you people, the budding lawyers and your faculty and all that who are lawyers. So it is your responsibility also. Legal aid. We have a National Legal Aid, Legal Services Authority, the State Legal Services Authority. There are all provisions by law which are there to assist the prisoners to get them bail, take them out and all that. So that also a responsibility of court. Senior most judge of, other than the Chief Justice, is the chief patron or patron of the State Legal Services Authority. This is what kind of status we give. But I don't know how much of us know that what actually is happening, whether they are getting, the kind of legal aid which required and all that. And many times, sometimes they are bailed out also by the court, but they don't have money to pay for getting out. Money for that security and whatever they are prescribed for that. Nobody is coming for their, for their bail to be what you call their guarantor and yes, and all that. So that is how that apart. There is something called interoperable criminal justice system. This is Supreme Court E-Committee mandated and conceptualized program, wherein all the agencies, it's monitored by, it's under the Minister of Home Affairs, wherein it seeks to enable seamless transfer of data, information to all the 4 organs of the criminal justice system. That is police, prosecution, courts, and prison. Okay. And in between comes forensic science laboratories and all. They also come into that. So all the data is seamlessly exchanged between these agencies. A lot of what e-prisons we call it. E-prisons is part of that. E-courts is part of that. So a lot of things are there. And technology is the solution for a lot of problems. When I say for all of, a lot of issues what we face in our society and country and all. So that again is what I feel that the court should be more active on these fronts also, and then they can do should make more efforts for that and all. I already talked about the backlog. There's no point. There's no point in talking about the backlog in the crores of cases are pending. Let's not talk about that. Now I'm talking about the prison strategy, prison admission. I'll come to the second point, which I start talking in order. So these are all best practices. I don't consider that these are all reforms. They are not reforms. They are all best practices which I know. We have Karnataka. We have about 8 central prisons, 1 central women's prison, then 21 district prisons and 21 taluka prisons and all that. So roughly about 50 to 52 prisons are there. So there are a lot of other prisons called revenue prisons. So if I come to you and perhaps I don't know whether these were set lockdown. Nobody knew what revenue prison is. I struggled with the revenue department or home department. They were not able to find out what the revenue prison. So I on record we had about 102 prisons. So I'm little brutal in cutting the outdated procedure, as I mentioned about the criminality reducing laws and all that. So that we did some homework and closed some taluka prisons in those places. About 60 prisons we closed, and these are the prisons now having there. Perhaps a lot of things, other things to be. And this is all nothing but you go to the government, get things done and all. So and apart from that, we have 1 open air prison. It's like a 113-acre farmhouse in Devanagari. There's some place called Koramangala there. There's a prison there, open air prison. So you, doctor, you should send your. I think some of them have gone there. Yes, sir. I came across 1 or 2 fellows there, and I was passing through recently and all that. Anyway, I don't know whether they are from here, but I remember vaguely. So you see that it's 113 acres, and they're all like working like farmers and all that. Sheep rearing, agriculture, horticulture, a lot of things are there and all. There are different experiments and all that. There are different kind of people and all that. So these are the this thing and all that. Now food, there's no issue. Karnataka, prisons all have mechanized kitchens. Bangalore, we did a lot of things. All state of art. Kulture or some who is there who prepares this kitchen equipment and all that. I'm forgetting the name of the company and all. So that mechanized kitchens are there. There are all no hands. There are no manual cooking and all that. There are this state of art which we have installed there. RO plants are there for the water supply and all that. For a lot of other things which are there and all that. So that is how it is there. Food and then shelter. Shelter again, the model prison manual prescribes. Even our state prison manual also prescribes per prisoner that should be space. I don't want to get into data. So according to that, otherwise we are all open place. It's like a resort and all that. But if you go the barracks and all that, then we are having 6% more than what prescribed capacity that we have. But I'll come to that again. What the government has done in that direction and all that. And I said under trial and convict. So we have separated what you call convicts from under trial, because under trial he goes, finds some guru there and learns tricks of the trade, comes out again and do that. So the convicts who are confirmed criminals, let them be a separate block. We block it. Now, these are all things which are sometimes there on the paper, ideas are there, but one should be implemented. One should implement that and all. These kind of out-of-box ideas, we try to do that. As DG Prisons and Corrections Service, I changed the name of the department. It was called Prison Department. We changed the name of the department itself. It's a Prison and Correctional Services. It is again part of the manual, the modern prison manual and all. So it gives you and we changed a lot of nomenclatures. Like one they were calling some chief warden, he said let it be assistant jailer. And like, why should you call jailer? Call it prison officer. That will make a lot of difference. That is how. So those kind of things which are too easy to do that, but then one has to consider. So my job as DG, as head of the prison state, was to do that. My job was not to go inspect a prison, find out why it is not there, why that escape has been there, why this thing happened, and all. No finding fault and all that. That's the difference. I will be there, and whatever cases were there, we try to close cases, inquiries, and all those kind of things and all. So now comes to shelter. We are comfortable, and again I come again. Now health. Once the prisoner comes, mandatory that his health checkup should be there. It's difficult to do that. When we go for health checkup, it takes whole day. It's difficult, but basic parameters we do that, and there is a record in a prison form. So it's a mandatory we do that, and we have been able to do that. We have been doing that. And it has, perhaps after my departure, almost 3 years, there must have improved. Hygiene, I've talked about that. Now, mental health. We, in association with NIMAS, you know NIMAS. So, NIMAS, with the association of NIMAS, we get counselor from there. We have MOU with them. And we bring them, the counselors, and advise the for the mental health of people. I told whatever strong one person is there, once he is inside there, depression is bound to be there. And then in the process, suicidal activities, so many things here and there are there. Then he doesn't know what is happening outside his family. So many other reasons are there. So the mental health is equally important than physical health, as physical health. That is all there. No, in Corona times you have seen that a lot of things. Now they will consume narcotics, drugs, and all that because of the mental health. And some of them are, they are drug addicts. How do you do? If you don't provide, if a person doesn't get drug for a couple of days, he will die. I don't want to comment on that. What happens, how it goes inside and all that. Let's not talk about that. It's a different area and all that. But drug de-addiction efforts are being done. Yes, he may come with a background drug addict, but we'll ensure that he doesn't remain a drug addict. That is what our efforts are on. And in the process, the prevention of narcotics entering to ganja or whatever, entering to the prison by various means, let's not about that happen. Some people will throw it. You've seen that. They just throw from outside. The compound is not, a lot of districts, like even Bangalore and other places, you throw it and it reaches. Name is written there, they're very honest. You will go to the person who's considered there. So phone, mobile, weapons, they're all being thrown in the, those are all different things and all that. So this is what I say. Corona times, we were one of the, and then a lot of ambulances, I got it, and each Parapanagara is the biggest, one of the biggest prison in the country. So we have about 4 or 5 ambulances, and then tie up with the hospital. I said, why should a fellow prisoners be taken to Victoria and all that? Let's have tie up with the local hospital somewhere and the first aid unit. Somebody tried to do some, something, heart attack. You can't have time to go 1 hour and all that. So, those kind of things were there and all. And for mental health, it's yoga, pranayam, all those other things are also there. Apart from counseling by the NIMAS, a lot of other NGOs, they come and counsel there also. Otherwise, Kali Dimag Shaitan Ka Karkhana, you know that. MT5 is a devil's mind, it's like MT5 is devil's mind type of thing. So we have to keep them busy, either giving them work and all that. And sir, of late, earlier only the convicts were allowed to work. There was no provision for the undertrials. But we unofficially, informally, we said no, let them also work and all. So like non-cases, non-pending trial cases and all that. So we did that. Of course, now Supreme Court says that even the underclass should also be given, they can be given work and all that. So I mean, we try to keep them busy and all that. That is how it is. Then next comes like the parole. Parole is a facility given to the provided to the prisoners to go once in emergency parole. They can go for 15 days. Otherwise, once in 2 years or once in a year, they go. I mean, there are different rules. I don't know what the later rules. So the local police will verify and then will send this fellow to them. So my job was to ensure that whatever the local police is asked for report, I'll pursue with the district SP or police commissioner. I just send me report. If his report doesn't come within 15 days, there the fellow has to go to the police station, his family has to go to the police station, work out, and then send a report that yes, it's a genuine cause, that is on parole and all. I said no, nothing like that. If the 15 days the report doesn't come, it's a responsibility of the local police to manage him and all. We'll release him on parole and all. And that made like it. ನನ್ನ ಗಂಡ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಏನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, the mind will be there. Once he comes out, he sees everything and he will be peacefully going back and all. So half of his mental health taken care of that. And nothing big. We are not doing anything. We are not doing anything out of rules or law. It's all just simple things. These are provisions are there, but it's not happening. So this is what, and it will only happen when the prison staff, prison officials are in tune with what is required by the law or the rules and all. This is how it is there. So this was our kind of thing. And sir, I mentioned about the remuneration we give them. Sir, skilled, semi-skilled, unskilled. So these are 3 or 4 categories. Highly skilled also is one category. So they are computer engineers. The doctors are there. Computer lawyers are there. A lot of people are there in jail and all. Teachers are there. All kind of people are there. I mean, there is some murder happens or something happens. He is not a criminal. ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ಏನಾದ್ರು ಅನಾಹುತ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ sometimes we do to fit there and all. Well, you make use of that. We had Mindtree. So we were running a project with Mindtree. Mindtree is a big company. So we were running a project with Mindtree where that call that employees, their staffs, ERP was taken care of by prison staff of prisoners of 10 in number. They were working on that project and they were given about 20,000 rupees per month. And they were managing the computer and the ERP projects of their own company and all. So that kind of skill people also there. So, make them use of that. So that is how it is. And then we keep them doing that. Now, a lot of we have a lot of industries like weaving, bakery, tailoring, carpentry, agriculture. I've already mentioned about that, electricity and a lot of other. In Corona times, it was the prison department who produced masks in that crisis and lakhs, I think 30-40 lakhs is what people was given to minister. Now, next comes to in this process comes to welfare activities. Cultural activity. We had a drama troupe from Mysore prison, which performed Mysore Association of Mumbai. They went to Mumbai, they performed there, came back. They were escorted, done that everything possible, and I happened to go there, witness the drama. Excellent. You can't imagine that there. So there has to be channelized. Whatever their mind has to be channelized, their talent has to be channelized. Then education, open universities, Karnataka State Open Universities, or IGNOU, or Kuempu, or a lot of other online courses are there. They are all there. They attend PhD, they write books, and they don't know what all they do that and all that. And we have centers for, IGNOU center is there, and all other, where people come and also Bengaluru University, we are tied up with them and all that. So that kind of things are there. Library, canteen, literary festival, higher education, all those kind of things are there. Open school. And some of them have a diploma in journalism also. Some of them studied law. They fight their own cases. I mean, you can't appear, you can't get degree without attending classes here. So they will have the law knowledge. They know much more than the classroom sitting there. Many criminals that defend their own case. They don't have to depend upon their. Then skill development. We have National Skill Development Corporation, State Skill Development Department and all. We do that. ITI is there in Bangalore, this thing. And a lot of other things which are there and all. I mentioned about the open air prison, what we have all things there. Now in the prison, we started FM radio with the Radio City, radio with cooperation and support and association with Radio City. We started prison radio, FM radio. So, and the Honorable Minister, inaugurated that now. I said, sir, inaugurate. What to do in Market? I said, sir, they're all listening to you. Just talk to them. And the whole prison was listening to the minister's address and all that. I mean, quite mesmerizing. Then the drama, I mean, whatever the radio does. We train these jockeys, prisoners. They are trained by the radio city. Now they run this show. I mean, somewhere some announcement has to be there, whatever way it is possible. And now it started the project in Bangalore. We started. After that, I think I'm told that all central prisons now they're taken into all central prisons and all that. I mean, they are all out of area. Now we have prison. You will be surprised. Prison call system where there are telephone booths. They can make calls to them. There are video chat. Now, of course, that they started now. Each prison is part of video chat is there. So they can talk to their, family. Their prescribed time limit, everything is there and all that. Okay. It's not that he can, or long time he can talk 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever time is there. The quota is there. They have to pay for that also and all that. So that is how these are all activities which are part of the prison administration and all. And we are as prison officials, we are duty bound to do that, perform that. And it can only be done when the manpower, when your force, your people who are working with you, the prison staff, until they are motivated and energized, they can't do. If somebody is facing for inquiry, we just fix something happens, we fix some personnel. No, we will not do. Whatever inquiries were ordered, most of them I close, give them promotion, posting of their choice, or promote. I mean, all those things we need to do that. Now, next point I will come to that. Doctor, we have how much time we have? Hopefully. Okay, and I will try to finish you have to deal with that. So now I have some priorities. Now that I was thankful to the state government, especially the chief secretary and the other senior officers that time, that they have given me full support. Whatever proposals I could take with them, and they were all approved. Financial implications were there. Now I was telling you about that, like that third priority, human rights. I told my people that the treatment of the prisoners has to be a different. It cannot come in one day. Now, in that process, whatever the government can do, number one is human resource, like staff. We had 1,900 prison staff, total staff for the entire 15,000 plus population. Very less, not as per scale, half of the scale. So you will be surprised that we got 1,900. I got recruited. I got permission from government, and that stringed from the Supreme Court within like police manual. They said that 31st of December 2017 or something, you have to recruit. So when we took permission and 1,100 one lot, 700 another, 800 another lot. We recruited out of the 1,100. We have 30% reservation for females. Okay, the female staff. 30% are females in the prison staff, with the warder, jailer, and all that kind of thing. So from assistant superintendent, jailer, and the warder, we recruited about 1,100. You won't believe there were 389 out of these 1,100 were engineers. 389 out of 11 engineers. Many of them women. The kind of stuff we are getting to the government. Why can't we change the whole system? So, and then they were recruited by the police. Police recruitment wing. Our Alaska was there. He recruited, and then prison has capacity of only 100. And we had about roughly about 200 staff recruited in 16 years supposed to be trained. They were not trained. Females, 90 females, they were not trained for 4 or 5 years. How can an untrained woman can stand? How can she perform the duty? Difficult. We dragged them out of that. They were not ready. They were not ready to come for the training. We almost threatened that we'll dismiss them in service and call them to ADMINISTRATION Master. And they came, 90 women. I went there personally to just to keep up their morale and all that. I said, "Amma, nimanu yaru miss madalla. Ganda miss madalla, tande tai miss madalla, makkulu maatu miss ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ತಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ತಾಯಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು I pampered them. And sir, It's a different approach. We every month of 9 months training, we send them to different places in Karnataka. Our Hubli or Bijapur, I am a Bijapur Dati, Bargade Bandila. And she is going to Alebid, Mangalore, or somewhere in Bangalore, or all those places, they're all burning. I said, take KSRT 5 study too, to understand how the other prisons are working. And I tell you, one of the female warder, very low, like constable, she commanded the parade when I went there. So mind-boggling the capacity of, we understand ladies and all. And I'm telling you that their families came in force. Mostly they are from North Karnataka, Bijapur, Dharwad, Belgaum, Gulbarga. These are the areas which are recruiting channels for the government and all. So that's a kind of training. So the training was given by the police training for these 1100. It was given by the police training. They were trained like a constable. Constable that they should be enough empowered like a civil constable. Strength is capacity is knowledge is and that is how and training capacity, the police training capacity we utilize there and all. So that is what you make your human resources, your people empower them, then they will be able to do it. So in the passing out period, once they finish the training, I used to tell them, अंग्रेजों के जमाने के जेलर नहीं है. Oh, which some film, na? हम अंग्रेजों के जमाने के जेलर हैं, some film में जेलर. So I told them, you told the same thing. We are not अंग्रेजों के जमाने के जेलर. Can somebody tell you about law? What is the difference between simple imprisonment and rigorous imprisonment? Professor, one of the faculty can explain. Nobody knows what is that. Because as Mr. Bhaskar pointed out that in the during the freedom struggle, the freedom fighters were forced to undergo that cellular jail in Andaman, and they used to go punishment, which is not there in our democratic and free country today. That is not there. So there is no difference between the rigorous punishment and simple imprisonment. Okay, it is only, as I said, convicts will have to work and underclass will not work. So this is how working is a kind of rigorous imprisonment. Otherwise, it is simple imprisonment. So these kind of mindset we have to come out of that and all. And I said that moral boosting, their nomenclature of their posting were changed and all. A lot of other things were there. So we sent them for election bandobast, last election, Vidhan Sabha election. We sent them with the police, let them with the females, let them be exposed to what the whole society. They are not there in the 4 walls, they are confined. Let them be exposed and all that. And it all very focused attention which we did there. And this is not only for a prison, it is for any organization. Tomorrow you are going to add some organization, your people are your strength. You do whatever your job you are supposed to do. If the superintendent has his job, let him do his job. The superintendent can't do a warder's job. A constable cannot do an IPS officer can't do a sub-inspector's job. Let the sub-inspector do his job enough. That kind of mindset and empower them and all. That is how it was there now. Now, apart from that, sir mentioned about that we had, whatever facilities were there available for the police personnel. Because police is, in the government department, is very pampered lot. A lot of attention, Allah Gulla, and importance is realized. But prison, nobody looks out. So I said, prison and police, they are part of home department, like Home Guard and fire services also. So whatever is the facility provided, whatever the perks provided to the police, is the same. Copy that GO and all that. That kind of mindset we had a lot of, about 1,000 page GOs we got it from the government. One GO getting one GO itself is a big task in government. 9 page, after the Rupa episode, we restructured the entire duties and responsibility of these people and all that. So those kind of things we did that and now next comes, as sir mentioned about the prison development board. There is one state, Andhra Pradesh, prison development board. So we borrowed that idea in Karnataka. We got Karnataka Prison Development Board. This is a board established by law. There is a Karnataka Prison Development Board Act. I did the homework and because of Corona and when I came out, sir was responsible for getting it in the form of a law. Now there is a law. It is not an executive order. So the Prison Development Board takes care of the prison industry inside, whatever they are working. And we can't leave it to the prison staff some embezzlement, some frauds will be there, So this is a special purpose vehicle for purpose of prison. 15,000 fellows are there at your disposal. The workforce, we must use that, That is how the purpose of prison development goes. And now how the present people take it and it's up to them. But there is a framework available there, This is what they. Now, I'm talking to the technology. Technology is backbone of any good governance. Good governance is supported by technology. You see the Hoysalas, you see these Maruti Ertiga vehicles, police vehicles and all that. We are introduced by women and the police commission. Now I was telling sir just now, 90% policing is done by this Hoysala. You make call to 100, now 112, and within no time they'll come. Who comes there? You don't have to have sub-inspector, come, a constable comes in a style without cap, and he will do the job and go back. So the response is immediate. 90% of news and policing can be verified. So that and that state of art vehicle, you go and stand with Hoysala and ask them how does it function. You make a call to 112, immediately the call is dispatched to the relevant Hoysala. You go attend, report back. Technology, no human interest. No, absolutely. So here also in prison also we in the governance and sir was very particular about the technology in the governance and all. So the e-prisons are talked about. Then later on we have in the security images in prisons. Like we have CCTV, jammers, scanners, metal detectors, a lot of things we have. Well, that's a difference. For safety security, we have the electric fencing. All those things are required and all that. Then a kitchen and I told you about e-prisons. Video conferencing here. Now again, judiciary comes into picture. If we are fortunate, there was Corona. I wish there is another Corona comes in. Okay. Because during Corona, the courts realized the value of what online hearing and all that. So the video conferencing, which was not liked by many judicial officers, has now become part and parcel of the judicial, proceedings when the cases are being heard in the court and all that. So this we have CC. I mean, we have video conferencing, including all taluka prisons. So the prisoners need not be transported to the court physically and do that and all that. So that is one again. This part of that ICBS, the Supreme Court and the Government of India also has a lot of vehicles. What we have done that and all that. Now, most of the things I have covered. Now, a few more projects which I had kept in mind is that my own wishful thinking. As I mentioned about, we had got sanctioned for 5 central prisons. One is Bidar, Bijapur, Mangalore, Bangalore itself, Hassan. Hassan was then later on it was there. So keeping the futuristic view, they are all 1,000 capacity, high security prisons and all. So budget discussion, I can say something which you are taking liberties. Sir was their chief secretary and the chief minister asked, really 200 rupees per project, really I said, sir, they are all high security, they are all VIP prisons. Tomorrow now even hope Bikadri and Madison. And right away I told the budget committee, I mean the honorable chief minister and the chief secretary were there, that these are all high security prisons and we need to. Malia is shouting from London, Indian prisons are not suitable. No, not even one Indian prison is suitable for Malia. It doesn't want that kind of prison now. So that kind of thing, the government was, it's the first time, last 40, 50 years, nothing happened. As you said, sir, all the prisons mostly are there, old and all that. Anyway, 5 prisons the government is sanctioned and it will take time for them to be pursued and all that. So that was a one big project and all that. Now 100-bed hospital we got it in central prison Karnataka. Then medical. We were short in the India Justice Report, what sir has mentioned, that analyzes judicial system, police, prosecution and prisons. So we had a discussion here. It's a Tata Trust sponsored report. We can also go to maybe trust. Where they say that we are lacking in counselors, medical staff, because the government hospitals don't have medical officers. So then we did something and counselors, medical, paramedic staff we recruited and this hospital and all that, we did that. So next comes the restructuring, the tinkering of the old practices, rules and regulations in the department. That is a very tedious job. One has to sit together and find out which is relevant, which is not relevant. You should update yourself and all that. We did a lot of things. As I said, we had about 1,000 pages government orders and all that. All procedures and practices were there, the processes were there, they're streamlined and all that. Now the challenges, what I say, I come to the last point, give me another few minutes. So challenges, we have different regions have different stakeholders. State government is there. Apart from the state government, there is a civil society, something called civil society. There is NGOs, you know what civil society is there. Then it comes part human rights also, what is there. So, I mean, they are all there. NHRs, there, state human rights commissions are there. Any law, any custodial that again has to be taken very seriously. I have taken a vow that during my tenure, nobody should die in custody. It's very difficult. Some of them die because they are so ill. They're already, they die. Apart from that, hardly in 2.5 years, hardly anybody died of, due to the negligence, due to the torture by prisoner. They died heart attack. They died. We are not able to get. Some of them committed suicide. Couple of maybe 1 or 2 here and there and all that. By the time we reach, things were over. But it was my motto, not only during my entire police tenure, no lockup there, come what may. And I'm telling you, we have to change our mindset. Now I come to little, sermonizing. I mean, if there's a theft in your house, and if you suspect your maid or some other servants, would you leave it like that? You would say that, "Jo karna ho karo, worry, whatever you want to detect the case and all that." So that mindset we have to change. They may not be the actual criminals and all that. So even if they are criminals also, that is give them the chance to do that. So we in the process we had that correctional staff also. There's another India Justice report other day was talking about the correctional staff. Our correctional staff is always there, but it's in a different form. So each state has its own this thing, but somehow the Tata Trust people they have taken that. So we were lacking that. That is why the ranking little not number one also. So and now comes media. Anything is made big and all that. I have personally requested the CCB City Police, Bangalore City Police, told the police commissioner, please send your staff about 150. They went and raided the prison. They searched the prison, entire Patna. And then next day news so many things are recorded. It was all our own initiative. We will not say that it is all our own initiative, but it comes in a big way in media and all that. So media sensationalize everything. That we have to anyway. We have to deal with that. Can't do much about that and all that. Now, another thing, government unity report depends upon it's a different setup. I already mentioned we're part of the government, and we try to do whatever best possible we can do that. Now, at the last, I would like to come to your role. Now, I have requested the principal and that please associate yourself with ultimately, have kind of take up some research projects, if you have some research project, take up some projects. It's very important to do that. From the societal point of view, your profession point of view, take part in the legal aid system, legal services, whichever is possible. We have a lot of volunteer lawyers, advocates coming to the prison and helping them. But money is not, we will not be able to, we'll be able to provide only as per the government, but money is not the constituency. So take up that. And academia has to associate with any government sector. I wanted kind of internship. I mean, had I continued for another 6 months, then perhaps that was my idea to have some internship programs. Like you are going to some X and Y associates, you come to prison and learn a lot of things. The actual, you talk to the prisoners there, whatever possible you do that. So with all that, all those things are there. And only thing is we have to bear with that. We are Indians, but we still feel that let us not be Angrezon ke zamane ke jailer approach. We have to be that. So with all this, I am very thankful to the KLE Law College principal and especially Mr. Vijay Bhaskar to ask me to come here and interact with you. And whatever functions in capacity of an IPS officer I've attended, college schools were the main, without hesitation I could go wherever I was SP of a district or a police commissioner. I had not gone for any other functions and all, but I prefer to go and interact with them. And people, young and not so young children. You are young, but school children also. It's nice to talk to them. And you are all budding people. Think good, think positive. Thank you very much again, and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful talk. Now the floor is open for discussion. So I request everyone to take this opportunity and please keep your questions crisp.
Morning, sir. I'm Uday Sinha. I teach victimology and criminology for 5 years course as well as 3 years LLB. Recently, as we know, that a person called Sadiq Kapil was released from Lucknow jail after about 28 months of being in under trial on the basis of NIA and UAPA being charged on him. The allegations wherein Sadiq Kapil had made against the prison authorities was he was denied of Malayalam scriptures or books in his regional language, wherein the issuance of regional books is one of the rights of every prisoner. Which in turn, secondly, the other allegation which in turn was made by him that the rules and regulations pertaining to section 73 and 74 of IPC was not being duly followed, as he was kept under solitary confinement for more than the prescribed number of days. I just wanted to know your views. One hand, there is an allegation, but on the other hand, what are your views on this? Because as we all know that bail is a rule and jail is an exception.
I said it. I said at the beginning that I will not go into the pending cases, how the courts function, whether the jail or bail. Other day, the Honorable Supreme Court has mentioned that the judiciary is not. Another thing is that it's not lower judiciary. It's a district judiciary. It's not called lower judiciary. I don't know. But once again, a nomenclature, we have to operate ourselves. So the lower, the district judiciary is shy of giving bail. Now, if he gets bail, I said about the media, there is right to be bail. And so many other things are there. In this particular case, Supreme Court has given bail. Now, there are extra judicial forces working. He's in UP. Some of them are must be in UP also. From Rajasthan. Okay, so I have already mentioned what kind of conditions there in North India.
With respect to non-issuance of Malayalam books, which he had requested,
it's very small. Solitary confinement. What are the charges? Tomorrow, I'm not saying so. But he may not be convicted of the charges which were given against him. But as sir mentioned, the process itself is punishment. How long he was there? Almost
28 months.
28 months, 2 years plus is enough. Which crime gives you so much of punishment, sentence. So the process itself has become punishment. So it is difficult to do that. It's a role of prison is it doesn't cannot be taken into consideration. It is not the prison officers who have done there. It's some other authorities. So I don't want to say that anything more than what you have mentioned. That it is solitary confinement. We don't even give it to the death convicts. In Belgaum, I don't want to talk too much about that. Belgaum, that prison, Indalga prison, is the only prison where we keep the death convicts there. And there are a couple of them, 30 plus. For age reading to 11, a lot of people are there. It's dreadful for me to talk to them. They are roaming around. They deserve solitary confinement. Some of them. One fellow, death criminal, in 5 murder cases, he jumped the wall. He went, somebody from Salem district. A challenge for us. He caught him. It's a different thing. Caught him back and a different thing now. Now, even those kind of dreaded criminals also, they were roaming around. What to talk of this particular, particular undertrial who was confined and who was made to undergo all kind of torture and all. So, nothing much. Let's hope something improves.
Good afternoon, sir. First of all, I would like to appreciate and thank you on behalf of our college for mitigating the number of custodial deaths and improving the daily wages of the prisoners and all the ameliorations that's been taking place. So I would like to get a solution for one of the most unpleasant yet truthful scenario occurring all over the India, that is custodial rapes. And from 2011 till 2018, there have been reported at least 1,700 plus custodial rapes, yet only 27 of the accused have been convicted. And I would also, we all know it would be a little bit difficult for the victim as they being reluctant to approach the appropriate authority. I would like to get a solution for that custodial rapes.
See the section 376.
C, yes, 376C.
So it is. It was amended after that case and all. So the custodial death was one part. Custody can be in your hostel also. Custody can be in hospital also. Custody can be in police station also. Can be in prison also. And custody means anybody who is lawfully custodian of. Who will be lawfully custodian. So that is a wider definition. Now, which are these cases which have been quoted out in press are in the prison, in the police, or there are other places in all that? Because
It is an Indian prison system.
Prison, okay. So in that case, what I feel that the prison administration which I mentioned about that is the only solution, and then it's indeed very difficult for the victim to come out and all that.
Yes, indeed. I mean, that's the essential idea of the prison is itself is to reform the prisoners. And with all this reluctance about going out to approach the appropriate authorities, would really mitigate the essentiality of the prison.
See, again, prison is the lowest priority of any state government in the country. Now, we are talking of Karnataka. I don't have much exposure to a couple of things I've seen outside Karnataka and all that. But I can tell you one, beyond Vindhyachala, things are different. I'm sorry to say that, but things are different. Things are different. We are almost like in South East and Swat, and maybe part of West and all that. Okay? So we just can't imagine that such kind of things to happen there. I mean, it's a ramshackle place, no light, forget about CCTV, no light, no connection.
Or is it appropriate to say that installing all the CCTV in every
infrastructure will have once it is there, a very illuminated area and all that, and the supervision and monitoring is there. I mean, that's the preventive measure. That's the only way we can prevent that. That's how it is there and all. And we should have ways and means to do that. Now the lower functionary in the prisons, I told you, they are confined for entire life. They are imprisoned for entire life. So their mindset is different. I didn't want to break. I was telling you, I told these youngsters who were recruited as warders and all, and jailers and all. I told them, please don't bother about your seniors. Because 1900 was the strength and 1900 we added. I said, you are the change makers. Our ಹೇಳ್ದಾಗ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮುಗಿತದೆ. You know Kannada? No. If you are going by your seniors' advice and guidance, then you are finished. You question them. You tell them that we don't follow you. Our DG has told public in the public address. I used to say so. So that kind of mindset has to come there. Difficult, but we were only lucky because I went in a different circumstance. It's totally different. The government was supporting, and we could do a lot of things. Why an independent authority kind like Tata Trust so reputed the right to speak for us, the right to people. And I forgot again. You have already mentioned CHRI, Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative. is an NGO, Indigenous NGO that last associated with about last 30 years. So they have done, we wanted our studies to be done by them. That study was conducted by the Karnataka State Legal Service Authority. I said, I don't want to give to some local, person or organization. Let CHRI do that. And they have done excellent report. That report is kind of, and a couple of states, because of us, they have gone. They have been, oh, Karnataka, you have gone, so you did a good job. You did for us also. Haryana, Punjab, Bihar, for a change. So we have to find out. Now, this independent study, I called them, I said, you please go. I told my staff also, I said, you buy banda buy petrol, you tell them everything and everything, anything and everything. Let it be on record. I will not be there by the time the report comes and I was not there. So let it be on record that these are the things which need improvement. These are the things which are good. These are the practices and procedures which require to be emulated or to be changed or to be improved. So that kind of, frankly speaking, service here with due respect to him, I said I didn't work less than like the minister working here. Because after police commission, Bangalore City, IPS officers do not have any scope for good posting and all that until they are state chief and all. I said, it's my, sannyasa, so let me do like whatever damage I can, whatever demolition I can do. That spirit is required. This is what we need for every government, especially for the neglected areas of administration. Technology, again, I think a lot of stress on that. The state of Karnataka takes a lot of stress.
Thank you.
Last three questions.
Good afternoon, sir. So, along Vijay Bhaskar sir provided us with a statistic of more than 70% of the prisoners being under trial.
78%.
The aggregate is 77 in India. So, along with that, there's another statistic given by the World Prison Brief. So, it states that India has the 6th highest share of pre-trial detainees. So, according to the panel here, what would you say is the most viable alternative to cut down the congestion in the prison of these under trial prisoners who are there? Because the chances of them being convicted or acquitted is 50-50 again at the end of the day. So how would what alternate would you provide to reduce the congestion in the prisons currently?
I have already spoken that I have discounted the efforts being made. It's left to the bar and bench to decide. If bench wants to do something, if the executive wants to do something, judiciary may not agree to that. If judiciary wants to do something, the executive will not do anything. Judiciary we want paraphernalia, infrastructure and all that. Is the executive or state and central government giving that enough? No. So, you scratch my back, I scratch your back kind of mindset. There's an issue. So these are all others. That is why the interoperable criminal justice system is needed. The states participation must. We could do a lot of things in prison because of the state government. Lot of things are being done in Karnataka. Again, Karnataka judiciary, including Karnataka, we are one of the top in the country so far as the technology and the infrastructure and other things are concerned. So it is there now. There are a lot of committees, Malimat committee, or a lot of other committees are there which have gone deeper into the matters. What can be done and all that. And for that, you request your principal to organize another seminar. That will be the right way to do this. Okay? It requires a day seminar, not one off the comment and all. But yes, it is difficult. Cases are pending for that. As you mentioned, that Rishi Kapan will improve 28 and he may not be. I can tell you that whatever cases are being booked by the central agencies, that I would not also there. CBI is income tax. They are all like police. They have all investigation powers and all that. So, how many cases in the past? Forget about it. So many cases. Do some analysis. What are the number of cases ending up in conviction? Rate of conviction is too low for various reasons. Okay, and then another premise which the Indian judicial system shows that 99 can be innocent, one innocent for saving one innocent, 99 can go one. That's the kind of rule of judiciary. They won't even punish one innocent. That's our mindset. Sir has mentioned about America. One of the 500, 600 per lakh. So this is how it is there. And again, we come back to the same process itself has become. Sometimes we feel really pathetic. That is why I said the role of what some administration what can we do at your community of legal fraternity can do is to assist them. Okay, with spirited efforts to go to them, take them up. I don't want to commit publicly, but there are cases where they have been bailed out, but they are not able to do security. They are not able to pay the amount which is mentioned as security. Many cases, and how much? 1,000, 2,000, 10,000. We arranged an NGOs, told them, please keep the money and take these people out. I don't know. I mean, what more can we do? Other than Supreme Court has said, Supreme Court has been shouting from rooftop. But again, the efforts of executing and all the stakeholders are
Sir, in the ground reality, is there a mechanism for really identifying the skill and talent of the prisoners and channelize the potential to make something productive for the government?
I forgot to mention one thing. The other that I mentioned, prison is run by prisoners. We pay them wages to monitor prison. They are cooking there. They are doing the office job. The fellow has been they are doing the office job. They are handling files. They are like in an office, working like an office. They are all computer engineers or they are all in other professions. They are drill masters. They are guides. They conduct yoga classes. They examine. Some of them have medical paramedic. They examine the patients. All that. So what I say, see there is one category. One categorization I would like to say. 100%. There are 100 prisoners. Out of that, 60 to 70% they have been voluntary because of their misfortune. They are there. Somebody is caught either in murder or kind of sudden and grave provocation kind of things are there. Some of them are inflicted. I mean, they are all intimidated. So they could be innocent also. So 60 to 70%, even if they have committed an offense, they know that it's my fate. 20% will see the wind, how the administration is there. They will assist, they will do all kind of things, legal, illegal, using ganja and all those things are done by some of their own, they will get there for the staff and all that. They are I don't want to get into that.
Productive government is always dropped to.
So I say, my concept is very clear. I said I will tell you something that had I continued for 6 more months, some of the damages I could do more.
Because this multi-talented.
I wanted these
convicts
convicts.
can bring it all together for productive government.
Yes, sir. That is what Prison Development Board. This is what the efforts we are making. We are increasing their wages there, and we have opened Janatan account in all the prisons, all the convicts.
Trigger mind also because
Yeah, that is what it says. So those kind of things are there. So we identify them. We have these skill training programs. We do that. So, but again, it has to be in a mystery mode. You cannot do that. And I said, if a murder actually, somebody has killed his wife, and there is something called, that Dowdy does. The female commits suicide, saying my in-laws harassed me and all that. I mean, which is a genuine reason to be convicted. Those kind of things, you think they are criminals. She is depressed. She commits, she commits suicide and all. So they think that they are different categories. So I was talking about those 60%, then 20% will go with the wind. Remaining 5 to 10%, we need to pay attention. 5% you can't do anything. They have to be solitary confinement. They have to be beaten up. They have to be handled with force. Use force. I'm beaten up this. They have to use force. If somebody is doing like that, they are nothing wrong. So and prison, they don't carry weapons.
So So these were channelizing the potential.
That is what we try to do with various means for district committees, prison development board or any other activities which are there. I have clarified that they are not prison reforms. They are part of the duties. Reforms are like you put something like we did that prison development board as a reform. Then we did the study by CHLI, that's a reform. We did a lot of new prison sanctions, that's a reform. So that's
Thank you, everyone. Due to paucity of time, we have to end this beautiful discussion here only. So now, I would like to request our principal sir to present the presidential remarks.
Respected Mr. Vijay Bhaskar, distinguished Speaker of the State, Mr. Megari, our beloved Professor, Professor Jeevan Kumar sir, my dear colleagues, and very importantly, the beneficiaries of this program who are sitting for over 1.5 hours with a lot of enthusiasm to know things and imbibe them in your life as a lawyer. At the outset, I would like to mention that while you are all the social engineers, officers in civil service, as you could see them on dais, are often considered the think tank, and they are the craftsman and mechanic in the workshop of legislators, while the legislators draw policy. Hope you agree, hope you understand and agree with that. Thus, they play a very vital role in running of the state, in framing policies for all of us. What is the context in which I am talking about it, if you are thinking? At the outset, I congratulate and I express my gratitude to IIPA, Indian Institute of Public Administration. And I thank Mr. Vijay Bhaskar for showing interest in visiting our institution and creating awareness about social reforms. I express my gratitude for joining us on this day. Coming to the topic of the day, since the topic is close to my heart, and since you are all showing so much interest in learning few things from me as well, that's what I can see. Thus, I mind going for a couple more minutes, and you will bear with me. When a subject like this, I have already given you the benefit of addressing you as social engineers. Knowing about criminal justice system, understanding prisons, and giving some time to think about prison reforms. If this cannot be done, how could you be properly called the social engineers? That's why I give a call again that you must understand this subject, get deeper into the subject, and try to know what your responsibility is in prison reforms. Some of the questions that you have raised, some of the difficulties that we had from this side to answer those questions. Let me understand that, let alone prison reforms, prison functioning itself is in difficulty. While that is so, Megaric sir has brought in his experience and so beautifully said that South is work. By meaning, things are much better, not completely good, much better here, whereas elsewhere they are not really acceptable. What needs to be done about it? Before we go ahead with it, I would like to sow the seed of fundamental idea in criminology. The idea, rather, we must get wedded to this idea, I believe. How do we address the criminals? How do we address the crimes? We start with this idea. When I teach criminology, I start with this idea and I try to
sow this seed deeply in the minds of students that you are there to hate the criminality and not the criminal. It is for you to remove the criminal in a man, you are not there to remove the man. That is where you get deeply wedded to the idea that reformatory theory is the best theory in addressing things, isn't it? It's not the deterrence, it's not the retribution, it is a reformatory theory that ultimately the state should get wedded to. If that is the ideal penal policy a state would have, directly that ideal penal policy should match with the prison administration. Maybe it's too much of expectation and it's maybe too novel if I suggest, but I'm strongly of the view that a day should come for us when the prisons are not called prisons anymore, they are just called the reform homes. Reform homes. I believe that should be our goal. If the idea is to make the prisons the homes, especially reform homes, that's going to bring in fundamental thinking in our minds, and probably that might help achieve the purpose of penal system. And then I just wanted to make this observation. At the beginning, you are taken through a couple of minutes video. And I also believe you would be wondering and planning. No. I'm not really trying to mean what you have understood. But I understood what you have understood. That's interesting, and I give credit to myself for that. That's not the one I was trying to tell you. What I was trying to tell you was this. As a social engineer, as a reformer of this country, you want to plan prisons of that type or otherwise. If you ask me, I hold a different view. I want to have the serene atmosphere, human treatment, an environment where blossoming of the personality happen, even for a criminal, and not the luxury prisons that you have seen. This is what I was thinking, if you are wondering about it. And I want you to wonder now and decide, would you like to have those kind of prisons where the luxuries are supplied, or you want to have a open air kind of thing where the serene atmosphere is maintained, spirituality is taught, good things are taught, education is provided. Lord Basava's idea of work is worship is infused in the minds of people. I am of the firm belief that we must not have luxury reform homes. We must not have luxury prisons. We must have the environment which ensures three basic things, as Megarik sir has said: food, hygiene, and health. After ensuring these basic three things, apart from luxury, as I started, it's the removal of criminal in a man. If that is the purpose, what needs to be done to ensure the blossoming of human personality in that criminal? All the attention has to be paid in that regard, and it could start with, you cannot excuse yourself that the issue that we are talking is too big, you are too young, you are not able to take call on these complex issues. No, it is the young minds who can delve deep into these complex matters, can come with fantastic ideas. Having said the human approach, probably instead of big buildings and luxury buildings, AC rooms, I would prefer, along with other lot of things, the treatment that happen from the prison officers to the inmates, and that has to be, in fact, that's a challenge. There has going to be a lot of training that has to be done to the prison officers to bring them change at the basic level in handling the inmates. And what needs to be done? If you ask me, lot of psychological training that needs to be done. It's an emotional thing. I'm of the firm belief it's difficult to change an intelligent man. It is easy to change a man who commits wrong things impulsively. What do you think? What do you think? It is difficult to change an intelligent man. It's easy to change a man who commits mistakes, maybe often, but impulsively. Impulsive acts happen out of emotions. I don't know if you have heard, if not, listen from me and remember. Anything that is done in emotion is fake. Anything that is done in emotion is unnatural. So, these people who prone to do wrong things, do wrong not out of wishful thinking, but out of emotional impulses. I believe it is easy to handle them. In handling them and changing them, coming back to the same, is it reformatory or retributive? Retributive doesn't work, reformatory helps. Thus, I strongly believe maybe what I am trying to preach may sound too novel and may not hold good for a sect of wrongdoers. I'm trying to deliberately refrain myself from calling them criminals. I'm trying to call them wrongdoers. These wrongdoers may require habitual offenders. I'm talking about. These habitual offenders may require a different treatment, whereas the whole lot of inmate population requires this soft approach, and this soft approach should be the ultimate idea to make meaningful reform in prisons. By meaningful reform in prisons, I mean converting prisons into reform homes. While this is the thought about a baby step in the direction of prison reforms that is to be sown in your minds. Probably we need to understand today how far what we are talking is relevant. This is another thing that you have to be keeping in mind while you imagine prison reforms. I'll tell you what is the change that has occurred. The reasons for which crimes are happening today, kind of people who are committing crimes today are changing. Do you agree? It's the era of white collar crimes. The conventional crimes nevertheless are there. But white collar crimes are in the increase. What needs to be done about white collar crimes? What should be the approach towards people who enter into, who commit white collar crimes? What prison reforms are required for them? Is the question that I would like to raise and leave you at that. Well, I think with these few random thoughts, which I wanted to introduce to you, so that you consider today you are sitting in an important program. The discussions that happened here are profound in themselves, and it is worth giving some thought to these ideas and generate some interest in the subject, generate some solutions, imbibe in yourselves, going ahead in your journey of making yourself the social engineers. I believe you will be successful. I think with these expressions and with this appeal that you treat the matter important and take it seriously and keep thinking about it in yourselves, a day will come when you contribute to the system. With this, thank you all and all for the very patient.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Jeevan Kumar, sir, to present the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all of you. I'll just take a couple of minutes, if you don't mind, but it's a formality which we have to go through. I'll begin the vote of thanks in the reverse order because I think all of you youngsters on the other side of the table have been a fascinating audience. You've been very attentive Some of you asked very important questions, and more than anything else, you stayed here listening to all of us past your lunchtime. So, warm thank you from all of us to all of you. Now, it's my duty to formally thank those of us on this side of the table, starting with Mr. Ernest Megarick, who gave us a fascinating account of should it actually be called prison reforms or not, because he kept telling us that these are not reforms. He said, as officers, these are duties and responsibilities that if every officer, wherever he or she is posted, takes seriously, then you need not really call them reforms. Things would automatically happen. So on all of our behalf, particularly from the KLE Law College, who collaborates with the Karnataka regional branch of the IIPA, sir, a warm thank you to you. I request the faculty member of KLE Law College to give a small token of appreciation to Mr. Megarick. Starting with the YouTube video of those 5 prisons and his account of what he did as Director General of Police in prisons, Government of Karnataka. I think he kept us all rooted to our chairs because we were listening to his unraveling of all those things that he did, which are very important. Ladies and gentlemen, next on our list is the guest of honor this morning/afternoon, Mr. Vijay Bhaskar, former Chief Secretary, Government of Karnataka, Chairman of the current KARC2, and Chairman of the regional branch of the IIPA. So thank you very much for setting the right tone and temper for this very important discussion that we had, your identification of the issues, your identification of the major areas, particularly with regard to decriminalization of laws, the statistics, the reference reports. Again, you've kept us spellbound. May I request the Vice Principal of KLE Law College, Dr. Anita, to kindly present a small token to Mr. Vijay Bhaskar. Ladies and gentlemen, next on the list is obviously your most favorite person on the dais here, your principal, Dr. Mallikarjunaya. Honestly, I met him so many times, I didn't really know criminology was one of the areas of specialization. And listening to him was again a feast. May I call it the icing on the cake as far as the discussion that took place this morning is concerned. So thank you very much, sir. We look forward to more collaborations with you. I request Dr. Mahanti to thank the principal with this token of appreciation. To the program coordinator, Dr. Chaitra Prasad, I think he deserves a vote of thanks too for putting this together. Thank you, Chaitra Prasad. To the faculty, vice principal, and the other faculty members who stayed here to listen to each one of us, thank you very much. To the students who asked questions, thank you very much. To the invitees, Deepak and I forget Mr. Om Prakash, thank you very much for coming and being with us. And to the MC of this event, who did a marvelous job. She does it every time so beautifully. And once again to all of you, thank you very much. We are very sorry for having delayed your lunch, but I think the morning/afternoon was worth it. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. But now I request CP sir to present sampling to you, sir. Thank you so much to all of you. And now we come to the end of this beautiful discussion. So before you leave the room, there is high tea arranged for everyone outside. Thank you.